Welcome back to the Africa Corridor. We don't do politics here, we don't do celebrity news, we do roads, rails, bridges, and power lines, because movement is money and connectivity is what turns a country into a region. Right now, Kenya is in the middle of something big. Not just one big project, at least 6 of them. Some are already reshaping how people live, others are just breaking ground. A couple are still dreams on paper, but dreams that are backed by billions of dollars and serious international partners. From the coast of Mombasa to the hills of Western Kenya, from the traffic jams of Nairobi to the shores of Lake Victoria, a new skeleton is being built. Let's take a drive through the 6 mega projects that will change Kenya forever. Project 1, Nairobi Summit Expressway, the toll road that unlocks trade. Let's start with the backbone of Kenyan road transport, the corridor from Nairobi to Mau Summit. This 180-kilometer stretch is one of the busiest in East Africa. It connects the capital to the Rift Valley, Western Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and even South Sudan. If you've ever tried to drive it, you know the problem. Heavy traffic, poor road conditions, trucks moving at walking speed, logistics costs that make everyday goods more expensive. The solution is the Nairobi Mass Summit Expressway, a modern, multi-lane toll road. Here's how it works. The government is using a public-private partnership, or PPP. Private companies put up the money to build it. Drivers pay a toll to use it. In return, they get a smooth, fast, reliable road that cuts travel time by more than half. Not everyone is happy. The Motorists Association of Kenya has raised concerns. They say, "We already pay taxes, why should we pay again?" It's a fair question, but the government's answer is practical. Building a road of this quality with tax money alone would take decades. Tolls allow it to happen now. After some delays, the original proposal from China Road and Bridge Corporation stalled. The project is back on track. By mid-2025, a steering committee confirmed the project was being re-tendered. Then Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi announced things were moving again. President William Ruto added that design work was nearly complete. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki later revealed that construction would begin within the month. The scale is impressive. The section from Rironi to Naivasha will become a 4-lane dual carriageway. The stretch from Naivasha to Nakuru will feature 6 lanes. For the Africa Corridor, this is a game changer. Faster trucks mean cheaper food, lower fuel costs, and more competitive businesses. This road doesn't just move cars, it moves economies. Project 2, Mombasa Gate Bridge, finally solving the Likoni Ferry crisis. Now let's head to the coast. Mombasa has a problem that's over a century old: the water. The city sits partly on an island. For generations, the only way to get from Mombasa Island to the mainland has been the Likoni Ferry. It's iconic. It's also painfully slow, dangerously overcrowded, and frequently delayed. Every day, thousands of people and hundreds of vehicles line up just to cross a channel that should take 5 minutes. The answer is the Mombasa Gate Bridge. This is not a small project. Japan has committed $770 million toward the total project cost of $850 million. That's a massive vote of confidence. Japan doesn't invest that kind of money unless they believe the project is solid. The bridge will connect the island directly to the mainland. No more ferries, no more queues, no more waiting in the sun for an hour just to get to work. But here's a detail most people miss. Once the new bridge is complete, the nearby Likoni floating bridge will be demolished. Why? To ensure that large ships can still access the port of Mombasa without obstruction. That's how carefully this is being planned. As of mid-2025, the Kenya National Highways Authority was focused on land acquisition. Compensation for affected property owners was underway. Final design verification was in progress. Why does this matter for the Africa Corridor? Because the port of Mombasa is the main gateway for Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, and Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. If the port is hard to reach, the whole region suffers. This bridge isn't about convenience, it's about keeping East African trade alive. Project 3, Nairobi Railway City, a train station that becomes a neighborhood. Let's move back to the capital. Nairobi has a congestion problem that is legendary in the worst way, but the solution isn't just more roads, it's better organization of how people move. That's where Nairobi Railway City comes in. This project was first announced back in 2010. For years, it went nowhere. But in July 2025, the cabinet finally approved the first phase, known as the Central Station and Public Realm Project. So what is it? In simple terms, they are completely rebuilding Nairobi's central train station. Instead of an old, cramped facility, it will become a modern multimodal transport hub. That means trains, buses, and eventually even taxis and bikes will all connect in one place. Specifically, the station will link directly with the city's new Bus Rapid Transit (BRT) system. But that's just the start. The railway station is part of a much larger 425-acre urban regeneration zone. The area between Haile Selassie Avenue, Uhuru Highway, and Bonyula Road will be transformed. New homes, new offices, public spaces, shops, everything a modern city needs. Kenya and the United Kingdom are both funding the project. By mid-2025, Kenya Railways Corporation was reviewing final design bids. Once complete, the station is expected to handle up to 600,000 commuters daily by 2045. For the Africa Corridor, this is what smart urban planning looks like. You don't just move people from A to B, you build destinations around the places where people already gather. Nairobi Railway City is not a station. It's a new city center rising on top of the old one. Project 4. Ngong'susua Highway, the road that used to disappear. Now let's talk about a road that doesn't get enough attention, the Ngong'susua Highway. For years, the old Mai Mahiu road was a nightmare. During heavy rains, it would become completely impassable. Floods, mudslides, trucks stuck for days, families stranded, businesses losing money because goods couldn't move. So the government made a decision. Instead of patching the old road, they completely redesigned and rebuilt it. The new Ngong'susua Highway bypasses the problem areas entirely. It's higher, drier, and built to last. By mid-2025, the highway was largely complete, and the results are already visible. Travel times have been cut dramatically. What used to take hours now takes minutes. Real estate values along the route are climbing. New shops, small businesses, and even warehouses are moving in. Farmers can get their produce to market before it spoils. This is not a flashy mega project. It doesn't have Japanese financing or a famous designer. But for the thousands of people who drive it every week, it's everything. It's the difference between arriving and being stuck. For the Africa Corridor, this is a reminder that not all game changers are billion-dollar bridges. Sometimes, the most important road is the one that just works every day in the rain and the sun. Project 5. Nairobi Mass Rapid Transit, the system that will fix the capital. Nairobi's traffic is famous, and not in a good way. For years, officials have promised a proper mass public transport system, but timelines kept slipping. A $350 million plan, backed by the World Bank and the Kenyan government, was meant to launch in 2017. It stalled, but here's the good news. Pieces of that vision are finally becoming real. Kenya Railways has been quietly expanding the Nairobi commuter rail network since 2020. New rolling stock, upgraded stations, more frequent trains. At the same time, the Bus Rapid Transit (BRT) system is making real progress. And here's the key connection. The BRT system is now directly tied to the Nairobi Railway City project. Once the central station is complete, it will act as a central hub linking BRT buses with commuter trains. You get off a train, walk a few meters, and board a bus that has its own dedicated lane. No more mixing with private cars. No more sitting in the same traffic you're trying to escape. Funding continues to come in. The African Development Bank has supported key infrastructure upgrades. The World Bank remains involved. Is the full vision complete? No. But bit by bit, Nairobi's transport system is starting to look like something a modern capital city would recognize. For the Africa Corridor, this is a slow burn. but slow burns still start fires. And when this system is fully online, Nairobi will finally have the skeleton of a world-class transit network. Project 6, Kenya's nuclear power plant, the biggest bet of all. Let's end with the most ambitious project of them all. Not a road, not a train, a nuclear power plant. Kenya's energy demand is growing fast. The population is rising. Businesses are expanding. Solar and wind are great, but they don't run at night. Hydro depends on rain. Nuclear provides steady, massive, 24/7 power. The original plan was a $3.6 billion facility in Tana River County, projected to deliver 1,000 megawatts by 2027, eventually expanding to 4,000 megawatts by 2035. Those timelines have shifted. By mid-2025, the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, new PEA, was still in the regulatory approval stage. Officials now acknowledge that 2034 is a more realistic target for commissioning the first plant, and the location, still a debate. Tana River was the initial focus, but new reports in 2025 suggested potential sites in Siaya County near Lake Victoria and even in Kilifi County. Nothing is locked in yet. The government plans to pursue this through another public-private partnership, inviting private investors to fund part of the massive project. Will it happen? Maybe. Maybe not. But the fact that Kenya is seriously having this conversation tells you something important. This country is thinking decades ahead, not just election cycles. For the Africa Corridor, reliable energy is the invisible foundation under every road and train. Without power, nothing moves. This nuclear bet is the longest shot on the list, but if it pays off, it changes everything. So, there you have it. 6 mega projects that are reshaping Kenya right now. One road is already working, the Ngong'susua Highway. One bridge is finally funded, the Mombasa Gate Bridge. One expressway is about to rise, the Nairobi Mass Summit Toll Road. One train station is becoming a city, Nairobi Railway City. One transport network is slowly taking shape, the Mass Rapid Transit system, and one nuclear plant is still a question mark, but a question worth asking. None of these alone will transform Kenya, but together they form a new skeleton. On that skeleton, you build an economy, you build jobs, you build a future. At the Africa Corridor, we don't just track projects, we track the connections between them, because a road without power is just a parking lot. A bridge without a port is just a view. Kenya is betting on 6 things at once. Some will pay off, some might not, but you can't win the bet you don't place. Let me know in the comments, which of these 6 do you think will have the biggest impact? And if you care about how Africa actually moves, not the headlines, but the highways, the rails, and the real stories, subscribe to the Africa Corridor. We'll see you on the road.